Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Crumwell. It's a nearly century-old business, so iconic that it has Pennsylvania's capital right in its name. But today, Harrisburg Dairies has run dry of milk, with suppliers and customers asking, what's next? Seth Kaplan, live in the ABC 27 newsroom with what we know this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Seth.
Good afternoon to you, James. Yeah, this came as a surprise to a lot of people, including those of us who aren't involved in the dairy industry, but have had jugs of Harrisburg Dairies milk in our refrigerators over the years. If you live in Harrisburg or travel through it, you have likely seen the big tanks with the company's logo on them. Harrisburg Dairies was in business for 94 years, officially not out of business as we look at those tanks, but not buying milk from farms or selling it to stores anymore. A leader with the Pennsylvania Milk Board, who is himself a farmer, says Harrisburg Dairies lost a big contract with Whole Foods markets, a big setback, but seemed on track to bounce back from that.
And they were just about there, and then they lost, my understanding last week, they lost some other accounts, and that pretty much put them in a place where they ceased operations.
On a statement, the company confirmed it suspended all production and distribution activities indefinitely while it considers all possible scenarios for the future. It says it's grateful to employees, farms, and regulators who were a part of its long history. Now, history and sentimentality aside, the most pressing question for farmers is, will they get paid? And when? Rob Barley of the Milk Board, who you heard from just a few minutes ago there, told me the industry has what's almost like an insurance fund or kind of like an unemployment compensation fund maybe, where when something like this happens, farmers do get paid about 3/4 of what they're owed. James, he said that can happen as soon as next week. Note also, the company said in its statement it suspended operations indefinitely. So kind of leaving the door open for perhaps some better outcome, although no one in the industry seems too optimistic about that.
Seth, I remember as a kid growing up, going to school and having those little milk cartons there from Harrisburg Dairies. And we are seeing this trend where we've been doing these stories lately of these businesses here in the mid-state that are just suddenly closing down.
Exactly, and this is another, and I asked Rob Barley to sort of give us some perspective in terms of where Harrisburg Dairies stacks up size-wise with dairies, because like you, I see the jug of milk, but I don't have that kind of perspective necessarily. And he said it's sort of a mid-sized producer. So if you think of companies like Rutter's or Turkey Hill, those are companies in our area that are actually much bigger than Harrisburg Dairies. Of course, you have down to the individual farm level, selling its own milk would be the smallest kind. So this one kind of in between the two, but a sizable company.
Absolutely, and been around for a very long time. All right, Seth Kaplan, live in the ABC 27 newsroom. Thank you so much for that.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27. We're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the home page, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.